Oh,
do it
I
from
can do
there.
it from there.
Or maybe it's that little circle thing on
Nah,
the
that's
other
to turn
side.
the camera on. What's that? Smell some shit cooking, bro.
Yes, yeah.
Somebody titles required. I got a title though.
What's that?
Saying the title is required. I got one.
You said the same thing.
Title and audience. Oh, the audience. I thought you gotta go next to choose the audience.
Yeah, click there.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I see it. You live already?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. They don't make eye contact until they drive off.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cowards.
Oh, man. Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, so we gonna get started. Giving all praises.
That's all right. No, go back.
Getting all praises to
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Giving all praises to the Most High, whose true name is Yahweh. In the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. And in the ancient Hebrew, the Holy Spirit would be the Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders of GMS, taught us the truth by the Holy Spirit. Honors to the brothers risking their life and freedom to push the gospel. Peace and blessings to the elect, which would be the remnant, 1/3 of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who make up the lost 12 tribes of Israel, according to scripture and prophecy. And the elect would be 1/3 of the Israelites who in the last days are returning back to the Most High, to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to receive salvation in these times. While the 2/3 of Israel who don't seek the Lord in time be destroyed with America. And that's all according to prophecy. I'm the brother La Badino. On my YouTube channel is Heart of David.
Does your brother Kalab also go by Hope, Grace, and Mercy?
Yep. And so we back with a mercy and spirit, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, with another live lesson. So we're gonna kind of switch it up today, but not ready, still going in the, still continuing with the theme of prophecy. Well, I think we're gonna be coming out of the book of Second Ezra for the rest of the time that we teach. So I think I titled it, "This is what the affliction looks like, but it will only get worse." Matter of fact, let's start at that Ezekiel. I think it's Ezekiel 75. But yeah, this is what the persecution looks like, but it'll only get worse. And the persecution, you know, the persecution talked about in the scriptures. See, a Christian, when they talk about the persecution of the believers, like the brother Hope was saying, the Christians think the persecution of the believers is, you can't say the word Jesus in public.
Or Walmart.
Or Walmart, you know, they're gonna ban all churches. You can't pray, you know, you can't pray no more.
Can't plead the blood of Jesus out loud.
Yeah, you know, everybody's gonna be holding hands. They're gonna be in jail together, happy, you know, but the persecution is not based only on what you believe, although that's another part of it. Now, the persecution is really based upon who you are. Because look who began persecuted this whole year. Yeah, we gonna call it that. Beginning with the Northern Kingdom last year, so-called Mexicans, Guatemalans, and Venezuelans. They are the 12 tribes of Israel. And then Trump has been, you know, through ICE and law enforcement, they've been harassing the Southern Kingdom. You know, so-called Negroes. They about to start deporting the Haitians soon.
Yeah.
Those are the 12 tribes. Look who they at war with. Venezuelans. That's the tribe of Asher. Yup.
You ain't been seeing them get no Elon now.
No Chinese,
Yeah,
no
no
Japanese,
over here
no
still.
Koreans,
Yeah.
no none of them so-called Middle Easterns.
Smoke screen.
Yep, they want to do land strikes on Mexico. They want to invade Cuba. This is what the persecution looks like. That's why it's called Jacob's trouble. It ain't everybody's trouble. Jump right into it. I guess we talk about the articles. We talk about everything that's been happening with ICE and Trump in the war. So
Trump said Greenland is next. He was like, whether they like it or not.
yep,
He said because if we don't take Greenland,
Russia and China.
Russia and China will, and we don't want them as our neighbor.
Russia and China ain't thinking about Greenland.
I think everybody's setting Trump up for in a snare.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because one of those vessels, those oil tankers that Babylon seized was actually empty.
Oh, okay, damn. They gonna tell those in that.
You say Ezekiel 75, right?
Yeah, I think it's that evil and only evil. But yeah, the title of the lesson, this is what the persecution looks like. And again, the persecution of the believers that you read about in the scriptures, it ain't everybody that claim they're a Christian. It ain't everybody that believe and read out the book and so-called pray to the God of the Bible. No, the persecution is based on who you are, the 12 tribes. There goes Latino Native Americans. Now, the next step of the persecution, it will be based upon what you believe. Oh yeah, through. That's the walk in defeat. So yeah, the 12 tribes will be persecuted further based upon them believing in its truth. But that's the next phase of what's to come. But yeah, the title, this is what the persecution looks like, but it'll only get worse. And that's what the scriptures say too.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7. Grab it before we get started. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 5, and it reads, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh thy power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come."
Hey, see that? The Lord said evil, and only evil is come. That's why the lesson is titled, this is what the persecution look like, but it will only get worse. times are only going to get worse. And that word evil, it breaks down to bad times. So it's only going to get worse. It ain't going to let up. It ain't going to lighten up. It ain't going to take a break. It ain't going to pause.
America's not going to be made.
No. No, yeah. It's only going to get worse. And the persecution, not only who it's happening to based upon who you are, but we're going to talk about what it looks like. The persecution of the believers in the scriptures is pretty much a bunch of changes in the laws and policies and executive orders to target and to further oppress a certain people.
In verse 6, and end is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come.
And that's why it's only going to get worse, because the end is coming. It's not supposed to get better before the end. It's supposed to only get worse. Yeah, I guess we jump into it.
All right. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16 and verse 68. And it reads, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols.
See, yeah, and these are days being the burning wrath of a great multitude. The burning wrath, we're going to get into what that wrath breaks down to and what it means. But a great multitude literally breaks down to a great multitude, a great company, really a great army. And it's beginning with ICE, who's pretty much being militarized for this time of persecution against the lost 12 tribes.
An extension of Donald Trump's police squad.
Yeah, it's a little personal police force, which it's not going to be just ICE. It's going to be the National Guard, the military, hey, even some of your local law enforcement. You got these random loser, white trash Edomites. They're going to be deputized and militarized, all these militias. That's the great multitude. And then you can throw robotic soldiers and robotic dogs in the mix.
Like the video I had sent you, did you get a chance to watch it?
No.
Oh, I sent about 2 this morning.
Okay.
The people who was over there in Venezuela are speaking out. They said that it was only about 20 U.S. soldiers that killed hundreds of Venezuelan men. Soldiers, they said that the weaponry that they had was something that they never seen before. They came from out of nowhere. They did something to make everybody nose start bleeding and just start panicking. They say that when they would shoot, how they would shoot, they said it was like 3,000 bullets per minute. You know,
Dang.
so they said it was like a technology that they had never seen before. You know what I'm saying? And they say, you know how like Issachar, Cuban, Mexico president, he ain't saying that no more.
Yeah.
They say, cause did you hear what Trump said? And due to the technology we made the blackout happen.
Yep, I heard that.
So
Yeah.
all that stuff happened. They said it was 20 soldiers and killed hundreds of Venezuelan troops, and ain't nobody get injured or nothing. So like they was using some new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't there, I guess the regular AR-15s that they are.
That's nice. So yeah, the brother confirmed 2 points in the spirit. You know, the burning wrath of a great multitude. That great multitude goes into a great army. You know, and the wrath, it really breaks down to a great slaughter by a military force. A great slaughter, you know, by Esau's weaponry. That's what that burning wrath breaks down to. But we're gonna show that in the next precept. But yet again, the burning multitude of a great wrath is kindled over our people, the 12 tribes, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. And what it say? They shall take away certain of you. Who's the only people that's being snatched up by ICE 12 months later? So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. You know, from the Guatemalans, Venezuelans, so-called Mexicans. Some of the Native Americans been getting harassed too up there in the Northwest. Hey, and some of the so-called, Negroes and, the Southern Kingdom. That's why it says that they should take away certain of you. This persecution, this burning wrath that's over our people, that's why it's known as a time called Jacob's trouble. It ain't everybody's trouble. And this is what the persecution looks like. It will be upon a certain people. Through laws and policies, and then finalized by the military coming after us. And that's happening. ICE ain't nothing but a subdivision of the military.
And a lot of those ICE agents, they not even like sworn in. They just, regular people that's been deputized. Esau can't wait to he been waiting on this opportunity his whole life.
Yep, no background checks.
Background checks, all you gotta do is just wanna take out the 12 tribes without seeing it.
Yep.
And then the scripture says that it'll be a time like it's never been before on this earth. Man, when have you ever heard about a Edomite getting smoked? You know what I'm saying? By ICE.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then Babylon the Great, like, okay, we cool with that. All right, on to the next.
Yeah, we gonna get more into it, but they say that cop, they say he got full immunity.
Full immunity.
Not gonna be charged, discharged, fired, replaced. He gonna stay employed.
It work right now, you best believe.
Yeah, he probably working overtime. He got promoted, if anything. And they told you that, I guess time moving that quick, they told you last year, I believe it was the guy Pete, said that ICE got the full backing of the military, the ATF, the CIA, surveillance, immunity. They're gonna be back.
Remember they got that all those $50 million grant? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And they got billions.
Yeah, billions, man.
Hundreds of billions.
Trump just upped the Pentagon military budget to 1.7 billion, a trillion. One of those, it wasn't no million though.
I think that trillion, they've been in the billions.
Okay.
And it's the first ever. Military budget over $1 trillion.
Right. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, and verse 12.
We're gonna show what that wrath is.
And it reads, "Wherefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time."
Yeah, see, it said the devil is coming down having great wrath. Who is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man? Well, what we get in the first precept? The burning wrath of a great multitude. You know what that great multitude is. You see them all through America, harassing the 12 tribes. You see them worldwide doing airstrikes on country, stealing oil tankers, bombing people, stealing resources, overthrowing governments.
Right. Whole new fashion.
Yep, that's the great multitude. But now we're going into the wrath. So the devil gonna come down having great wrath. Now we're gonna look up this word wrath, show what it means. We're gonna look at it in the Greek. This word wrath, G2372. It says passion, angry, but we got to go to the root word to go deeper. So this word wrath in the Greek, when you go to the root word, it says to slay, to kill, or to slaughter. So this is what the persecution looks like. It's a certain people, the 12 tribes, that's going to be harassed and targeted through policies and laws. Eventually, it's going to come down to a great slaughter on our people. So that's what it means when it says the devil is coming down having great wrath. The devil about to come on the 12 tribes with a great slaughter. What ICE is doing now, hey, that's child's play.
Just a Google, just a simple Google dictionary for wrath. It says wrath, extreme, often, vengeful,
Yup.
anger, or fury, a deadly sin representing uncontrolled rage and a desire for punishment. Like when they know they on the hunt, they out there on the hunt. Hey man, they can't wait to draw some blood. Out there in California on New Year's, it was a Jake went out in his apartments, went out on his porch and let off a few shots for New Year's with an AR-15, and an Edomite that lived in his apartment complex that was off duty grabbed his gun and unalive him. And he probably got a promotion.
Oh yeah.
Walked in the office the next day, they was clapping.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy, man. But yeah. So Zechariah 16 and 68 says the burning wrath of a great multitude. That's Esau using all his resources, everybody he knows, to come up against the 12 tribes. They're doing it softly first. What Revelation 12 and 12 say? They're gonna come down with great wrath, a great slaughter. Let's do Ezekiel 21 and 9.
I think they turning it up a little bit too though.
No, they turning it up. They started off last year though.
Because 2026 is already kicking off.
Yeah.
21 and
9 through 12.
Yeah, I definitely think they turn it up a little bit more. Even Trump acting a little different.
No, they turning it up this year for sure.
All right. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 21, starting at verse 9. And it reads, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened, and also firm. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth?
See, the sword is sharpened. Meaning what? They making advancements in their technology.
Yep.
The sword is sharpened. That's why there's a phrase, cutting edge technology.
Yep.
The advances in their technology ain't to give you a smartphone or a PS5. No, the greatest technology.
Stop.
Yeah, I don't know why it stopped, but it picked back up though. But yeah, see that it said terrorists by the sword upon the Lord's people. So this is what we seeing. This is the build up to that great slaughter that's about to take place.
Sure.
And for the record, you so-called white people, they think it's the government versus the people. No, it's against the 12 tribes. It's just you so-called white people, you Edomites, y'all in the way. So y'all,
they gonna get caught in the crossfire too, though.
Because they in the way.
Yep. They're gonna soon find out that, you know what I'm saying, the elites and regular Edomites they not the same. They not on the same level.
Yep. I guess we jump to the
Exodus.
Actually, let's do Ezekiel 35. I think verse 5. And so the Lord says it's gonna be a great slaughter on his people. Now we're gonna show by who. They proving that the sword given to the slayer is Esau.
Right, this is the book of Ezekiel. My bad.
Oh no.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, and the time of their calamity, and the time of their iniquity had an end.
Because thou had a perpetual hatred. In certain translations, it says the ancient hatred. The hatred that Esau the white man got for the 12 tribes, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, it's an ancient hatred. It goes all the way back to the garden. You know, Adam and the serpent. You know, after that, Cain and Abel. After that, Jacob and Esau, which is still playing out today. But what it see? It shed their blood by the force of the sword. Now when you read up in verse 2, it tells you that this is dealing with Mount Seir. But it's talking about Esau Edom. So that's what's going to bring the slaughter on our people here at the end. You know, people think the persecution It's just going to be a magical story that the Christians going to be persecuted and harassed, but nobody going to be harmed in the making. No, the real persecution that's talking about in the scriptures that's going to be in the Lord's people, it's going to be a lot of blood. People dying in the worst ways possible. Hey, this is a persecution. See, that's the thing with you Christians. In their mind, everybody think they're going through it for the Lord. You know, the real persecution that's talked about in the scriptures, that ain't nothing you're going to want to be a part of. It's people that's in this now, when they see it, they gonna be like, hey, no.
I ain't signed up for this.
Yeah.
No, but and another thing that the Christians don't realize is that, you know, Y'all Bashim Yahushua is getting us prepared for this every day. We training for this every day. You know, brothers catching hell, brothers going through all kinds of things, dealing with all kinds of things.
Hey, we don't want to go through it, but we was made for it.
Right.
But see, we understand that we got to go through it because there's no other way.
The only way to get out of it is to go through it.
Yeah.
We don't want to be one of those, you know what I'm saying, that go around. You know what I'm saying? And come up in this thing another kind of way. We're still in Ezekiel.
No, that was it.
Okay.
Bet. Yeah, so we're going to get into more of what the persecution looks like because it's happening right now. You know what's going on with ICE and the executive orders? That's a persecution. That's Jacob's trouble.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 14, and starting at verse 8.
And this is why we're going to the book of Exodus, because Romans 15:4 say things written aforetime was written for our learning. So children of Israel have always been persecuted and targeted since the beginning of our story.
Like the brother said, the scripture says the things that were written before time were written for our learning. The Christians letting these pro-chop pastors sing them a whole new song.
Yeah.
You know, they playing a whole nother song in these days we living in.
And see, that's the thing about going back to the past too. You realize what the persecution was and what it was about. It was always on the 12 tribes. There was never no Edomites being persecuted in the scriptures, no Babylonians, no Moabites.
But the Irish, they were slaves too.
Man, that's Esau being evil to himself.
But they was able to still get up out of it after the time period.
Yeah.
They was able to get land.
They was a ditch of service to be technical.
Yeah. Ditch of service.
That's them damn devils.
They was just paying off debts and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. We didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And then what happened to us on those slave ships and what we got over here, can't nothing compare to that.
The beautiful part about it also is that our punishment came with grace inside of it. It just wasn't at that time. Grace and mercy was already embedded inside of our punishment.
Yep.
These people out here the Lord done just threw them into a trick bag. They gonna find out at the worst time, at the end.
Yep.
All right, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 14 and verse 8. And the Lord, children of Israel went out with a high hand.
We gotta deal with that. It said Pharaoh, king of Egypt. What is America referred to in the book of Revelation 11? This is spiritual Egypt. That's why the pyramid on the back of the dollar. You know, you got pyramids all over America. So this is spiritual Egypt. So who would Pharaoh be? Pharaoh would be Trump. And what it say? The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh. So what is Trump doing? Turning up in his second term, turning up in the second year of his second term, you know, with the executive orders, you know, invading these other Israelite countries, ICE cracking down even harder and harder, all these executive orders, all these House bills, all these draconian laws. That's the Lord hardening Pharaoh's heart once again. It's see what the Israelites went through in ancient Egypt when it says the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. They won't let his people go. This is what it looked like today. What Trump is doing to the 12 tribes today through his laws and policies, through his army. This is what it looked like.
Check this out. It says Trump is offering $100,000 to every Greenlander in an attempt to convince them and join to leave Denmark and join the U.S. $100,000.
That nigga lying. He still owe me two. He still owe me 2 refund checks.
Me too. Stimulus checks.
Yeah,
man. Yo,
everybody.
I didn't never get that, man.
Yeah, Elon. He told us that from all the Doge cuts and savings, he's gonna cut the Americans a check. And then there was another one. They say all the tax dollars, something like that.
We say that they done saved.
Yeah, we was all gonna get at least $2,000.
Right.
That nigga lying.
All they got now, gas should be $1, huh?
Gas should be $1. Somebody get 50 million barrels. 50 million barrels? Damn.
Barrels. Do you know that Venezuela stopped using the petrodollar 6 years ago? They hadn't been trading oil in the petrodollar.
I didn't know. I just heard some brothers talking about it.
Yeah.
They said Venezuela was one of the first ones that really showed these other countries how to get around America's dollar.
Yeah.
They say, they say Iraq, China, Iran, Russia. They said they really late. They really learned that from Venezuela.
So that's why Trump said to China and Russia, we've always liked you. We're open for business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Meaning like, hey, we'll sell it to you. Put up in that petrodollar.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it said the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and then what did he do? All right.
I'll start from the top again. Exodus chapter 14 and verse 8. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel, and the children of Israel went out with their high hands.
See, he hardened Pharaoh's heart, and then they pursued the children of Israel.
Yeah.
See, when the Christians read this and they picture the story, they think it's the Israelites just running in a straight line, and Pharaoh marching after them on the horse. No, yeah, it's way deeper than that. Yeah, that was a small portion of it.
But we can do under the sun, though.
Yeah, but we don't get into that word pursuit. Let's get verse 9, bro.
But the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them, encamping by the sea beside Piroth before Bezaphal.
So yeah, it said, Pharaoh marched after the children of Israel with the chariots and horses. The scriptures give you bullet points. They can't give you word for word of what we see today. That's will be revealed by the Spirit. But this is what it looked like. It wasn't just Pharaoh woke up and started chasing after him. No, what we see now, this is Pharaoh pursuing the children of Israel all over again. Not just in the physical sense with his army, but pursuing them with his laws and policies and his draconian laws. And we're going to show that. That word pursue is deeper than just chasing somebody on foot. Pursuit goes into targeted and harassment. And we're going to show that. And then what it say? It said overtook them. What you see happening to the 12 tribes, they've been overtook by Pharaoh once again. By Pharaoh pursuing them. Meaning what? Overwhelmed.
I got one. From the Blue Letter Bible, it says, for pursue, it says, put to flight, chase, attend closely upon. And that's exactly what's happening. They got They got Israelites, Yasharallah trying to get over here to escape. Now they got them trying to get out of here to escape. Now they going to them, capturing them, bringing them back over here. But they say that the president of Venezuela, him and his wife is in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
And you saw that he had on a jumpsuit, a great Nike jumpsuit when they was getting them back over here. They made money off that too. Nike paid the United States, the government, the United States, billions of billions of dollars to have him seen in that jumpsuit. And guess what? All the rest of the clothing brand had put in a bid too. I'll send a video to you.
Oh, this all the marketing.
It's all it's all about information, all the marketing, information, and all that kind of stuff, man. AI, man, I'm telling you, man, because they just want us to continue to be useless eaters and purchase things. What it is, hunters, you just purchase stuff.
Some kind of
Consumers. They just want us to be consumers. And guess what? Just believe that Nike Tech suit he had on, the stocks went up on there, man. Everybody went and grabbed him one.
Oh yeah.
You know? Not knowing and unknowingly. Yeah, man, I think I'm gonna grab me a new Nike Tech this weekend.
Man.
Same color. Gotta get the Nike shoes to go with it.
Oh yeah. But yeah, we're gonna get into that, Pharaoh pursuit, the children of Israel. We're gonna look at that word pursuit in Hebrew and link up some scriptures with it to get some examples.
Just a Google dictionary of pursuit. It says to pursue means to follow someone or something, to catch them, to strive to achieve a goal or desire, to engage in an activity or study. Yeah, she is striving to hunt them down in the street with that sword that's been sharpened.
Yeah. That's what we see. So tribes being pursued and overtaken. Now when we come to the Hebrew, this word pursue, H7291, it says to be behind, that's literal, to follow after, that's been happening literally through ICE stalking you, how they followed Maduro, brought him over here. It says to pursue. Check this out. It says to persecute. So when it says the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and then Pharaoh pursued the children of Israel, meaning he persecuted them. So now it ain't just Pharaoh just following them marching on the horse.
Right.
This word persecute, it opens it up. So now we got to look into these words. So yeah, then what we see is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, America, which is spiritual Egypt, pursuing or persecuting the 12 tribes once again. And then as we read a little more, it says to pursue, it says to persecute, it says to harass. So to pursue can mean to persecute and to harass. And that's what we see Pharaoh, king of spiritual Egypt, which is Donald Trump, doing through ICE, is pursuing, persecuting, or harassing the 12 tribes. That's why so-called Latina woman can get snatched out her vehicle at a red light. That's her being pursued or persecuted or harassed, in which I forget the Supreme Court executive order. I get to that in a minute. But that's what we see, ICE targeting people based on ethnicity. That's them being pursued. Is when you're persecuted and harassed. You got charged?
Oh yeah, appreciate it.
So now we're gonna look up three words. We're gonna look up the word persecute and pursue and harass. Give examples of how it's playing out today, and that's what Pharaoh, king of Egypt, was doing to the 12 tribes back in ancient Egypt. He didn't just wake up one day and started chasing them. No, they would be pursued or persecuted or harassed the whole time. You know how you wake up, it's another law that's being passed, another executive order that was being passed. That's what Pharaoh was doing.
Yep.
Now we're gonna look up the word pursue. Since that's the word in the scriptures, pursue, we're gonna deal with that one first. You know, English definitions. So definition 1, it says to follow someone in order to catch or attack them.
Yep.
So when it says, you know, Pharaoh pursued the children of Israel in the physical sense, yeah. To chase them, to attack them, to catch them, to put them back into slavery. That's what Trump got ICE doing. Putting us in FEMA death camps, putting you in prison.
They say another one is to hunt, to follow closely or trouble.
Yep. To hunt, to trouble. Here's another one. It says to persistently afflict. Persistent is when somebody constantly doing something. Another word for afflict would be trouble. Harassing you for papers. You got your identification. They tell you your identification not good enough. You're supposed to be in the system, your information being erased from the system. They chase you down in the strawberry fields. You build a construction, they pursue you all that work, looking after your whereabouts. Because when it first started last year, white people sent letters around, hey, follow any brown people, see what churches they going to, see where they hanging out at, get their license plates. That's Pharaoh pursuing 12 tribes. I'm gonna look up some similar words for pursue. It says to run after, to follow, to chase, to strive for, to run after,
To engage.
Yep. Now, we're gonna show this in the scriptures real quick. I think we're gonna come to the book of Lamentations too.
Gonna get a little warm by it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Lamentations chapter 2 and verse.
Let's have to do a word search. They hunt our steps.
Oh,
Lamentations 4 and 18.
Okay. Well, let me go up a little bit, whatever you think. Okay. Whatever look good. So yeah, when they say the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and they pursued the children of Israel, meaning to chase after, to attack, or to capture. That's what ICE is doing. Attacking our people and capturing them. Kidnapping them, abducting them. But even that word pursue, again, it goes into persecute and it goes into harass. We're going to get them two words next.
I start at 17.
All right, bet.
It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, and verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. 18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
See that? It said they hunt our steps, that we can't go in the streets. That's concerning the children of Israel. We see that happening today. And the brother brought up the definition pursue. It says to hunt or to trouble. Whose steps are being hunted here in the streets of America? 12 tribes, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Let's get 19 on that as well.
Verse 19, Lamentations 4:19. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagle of the heavens. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness.
Swifter than the eagle, we know that lines up with America. That lines up with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, who's likened it to the eagle. Then what it say? Our persecutors.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a thing I forgot to mention. In order to be persecuted, as American Christians like to say, so-called white people, you gotta have a persecutor. Who's persecuting white people?
Right, I was just gonna say that.
Nobody. But do the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have a persecutor that you can identify? It ain't hard. It ain't the Chinese man. It ain't the so-called Arab man, East Indian. No, it's you Edomites.
It's the book of Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. That's the part.
Yeah.
Are we in a possession?
Yeah, who's in other words, a possessor or a slave master. Back then, as it is today, they kill us and hold themselves not guilty. So this is what the persecution looks like. What you see happening today. It's pretty much the same oppression we've been going through, but it get worse. They turn it up. They come down with great wrath. They're gonna finally come full force with their military. Man.
And then one of the people from Trump's cabinet said that these are the days when you don't have to be ashamed to be white no more. You know, because they try to hide behind, they erase the things out of history and stuff like that. So don't nobody try to point the finger at them continually. But now they like, the hell with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is our country, America.
Like how they be sounding too.
Right.
But yeah, this goes back to Revelation 12 and 12. The devil should come down having great wrath. Remember, then how we open up in 2nd Ezra 16 and 68. The burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you. That's Pharaoh pursuing the 12 tribes of Israel here in America. Because it's a spiritual Egypt, which makes Trump. He's in the spirit of Pharaoh. Physically pursuing and going after the 12 tribes. But when we went to that word pursue, it says to persecute, which opens it up. So he's not physically just pursuing us through his military and police force. He's pursuing us through his laws and legislation and policies. Now we're gonna get into that. Let's look at that. I'm gonna look up this word harass next. Let's see what that word harass brings us.
I got a Google definition. It says harass means to persistently annoy, trouble, intimidate, or bother someone.
Intimidate, to bother someone persistently. We see that happening through ICE, in the physical sense, but behind the desk and behind the scene, Trump is persistently harassing and troubling the 12 tribes, again, through his laws and policies.
It says repeated unwelcome actions, words, and threats causing distress.
Yep.
Verbal, physical, visual.
What it say, unwelcoming.
Yeah.
Even Edomites is sending ICE to get the F out of our cities, get the hell out of our states.
Yep. They knocking at some people's door asking for people, and they're like, no, he don't live here. You got the wrong house. They still want to come in.
That's the perfect example of being unwelcome.
Yep.
Entering cities and states, neighborhoods, even knocking on people's doors.
Just happened the other day. An Uber driver was delivering some food to an Edomite Edomite's house and they family, and ICE chased the person up in the
Bruh.
Edomite house.
And see, bro.
But check this out. So when they chased the person up inside the Edomite house, the Edomite closed the door, and they beating on the door, telling them to open the door. They gonna kick the door in. They said, we'll open the door if you show us the warrant. They like, we don't have a warrant. They said, but so I don't have to open the door. They said, we'll go get a warrant, and everybody is gonna be arrested. The lady was panicking, like, I don't know what to do.
See, that story to a brother on postal service. Just said he was scared as heck. He was like, how do we know you're a postal worker and not an impersonator? He was like, bro, I got on my uniform in the bag, in the tag. He was like, how do we know it's real?
Right.
Nigga, how we know you real ICE agents?
Exactly.
Man, I be praying that when I gotta deal with an ICE agent, I
Stay in the spirit.
because they assholes.
And I always thought that it's just gonna be regular police acting like ICE agents.
Me
No,
too.
It ended up being a whole new
Whole new police.
whole new police force, man.
Yeah.
Whole new police force.
See, as prophecy progresses and moves forward, you know, things become clear. And speaking of the brothers say how they was knocking on the door, the word out that they want to amp up deportations. So they gonna start going door to door, looking for illegals, looking for people who commit fraud. But again, that's Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the spiritual Egypt of America. The Lord is hard in his heart to further pursue, to persecute, and to harass 12 tribes.
Unwelcome.
Now, I'm going to look up this word harass. It says subject to aggressive pressure or intimidation. And that's the thing too. ICE, they're getting more and more aggressive with it. Trump is getting more and more aggressive with it through his laws and policies and orders and what he's doing, you know, behind the desk.
He passing out more green lights for the things that they doing.
Yeah, and that's the thing too.
That fight happened out right
Oh
now.
yeah. And for the aggressiveness that you see on display through ICE, the counterpart is behind the desk. They only get more and more aggressive in the physical sense because they get more and more aggressive on paper through their laws and policies.
That was ICE right there with the mask.
See, they came up with the mask off. That's what I'm looking like. These Edomites doing. They face covered up. And then another definition that says to make repeated small-scale attacks on the enemy. ICE attacking you because you're the enemy. The 12 tribes, they targeted Guatemalans and Venezuelans, Native Americans and so-called Mexicans in America, and then abroad, you got the U.S. military doing bigger scale attacks on the Venezuelans, Mexico next, Cuba's next. You know, them blowing up what they call drug boats. Ain't nothing but people fishing.
Right, come on, man.
That's being attacked outside of America or harassed inside of America because we the enemy.
The scriptures, Deuteronomy said that we will be sold to our enemies, not our loved ones, not our friends, not the people who has the best interests out for us. It's your enemy, shit.
Then Jeremiah tell you that the 12 tribes will be oppressed together. The reason we still be treated like niggas, but at the same time, you got Venezuelans being attacked in Mexico, so-called Mexicans being harassed and chased through the streets of America because we the 12 tribes. This is what the persecution looks like. Where your government, you know, the powers, the people in power right now, Edomites, pass laws and legislation to target a group of people, the 12 tribes, and then they send a personal police force and military after the people. This is what the persecution look like. It ain't just based upon what you believe, whether you believe in the Lord or not. No, the persecution is happening because of who you are. The Lord shows the people. Now we will be targeted further, pursued further based on our beliefs, but it ain't got there yet. But it's getting there. Now we're gonna look up some similar words for this word harass. It says to persecute, to torment, to bother, to annoy, to worry, to disturb, to trouble, to agitate. That's what Trump's trying to do. He's trying to agitate to Americans to get out of pocket so he can justify and using deadly force through ICE. So you bring about the Insurrection Act. It says to provoke, it says to vex, to stress out, to nag. Oh, it says to molest. You know, ICE agents is molesting women and children. That's been coming out.
I got unwelcome touching, intimidating gesture, physical assault, obstructing movement.
Yeah, they blocking your path. That's how the lady got shot. She was just trying to get out the way, and they shot her dead in her face. And then this ICE agents walking in on women, talk about, you know, you do these sexual favors, we'll let you go. That's what the persecution looks like. You know, pretty much a corrupt government, you know, playing dirty.
I don't know who them people is. Might be some extreme pedophiles. You know what I'm saying?
No, a lot of them are. Some.
They ain't looking for no degrees or no upstanding citizens.
Nope.
They looking for people who gonna get the job done.
The worst of the worst. Let's do Isaiah. Let's do 10:1 and 2 in the NLT. Because it said, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and Pharaoh pursued the children of Israel. When you see that word pursue, now we going into this word harass. As we look into the word pursue, the word harass. So everything in the physical sense for this word harass is also being done in a non-physical way through laws and policies and executive orders and Supreme Court making decisions. Yeah.
All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, and starting at verse 1 in the NLT. It said, what sorrow awaits the unjust judges?
A corrupt government.
And those who issue unfair laws.
A corrupt government passing unfair laws. Executive orders, Supreme Court decisions, House bills, all of that.
They deprive the poor of justice and deny the rights of the needy among the people.
See that? The Lord said.
That same part.
Oh yeah. So it said they deprive the poor of justice. And for the record, the poor would be the 12 tribes. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Being in poverty or not making a certain amount of money don't qualify you as being a poor. What it say? To deprive the poor of justice. And that's what's happening. Especially dealing with ICE, knows that being deported, due process is ignored. They're not being able to make phone calls. They show paperwork and identification. That don't work. They go and make their court hearings. They're going through the legal process of citizenship. But Esau being treacherous or deceitful, they go to court thinking they're making progress, and ICE is there to snatch them up. Like the brothers say, they arresting people without warrants.
Well, your papers. You show them your papers, they still take you to the ground.
Right. They say they don't believe you. You show them you at work, they don't believe you. But that's why it says to deprive the poor of justice. It says, and deny the rights of the needy among my people. So the corrupt government passing unfair laws, the target would be the Lord's people. That's why you only see ICE targeting the 12 tribes. Beginning with the Northern Kingdom, making their way to the Southern Kingdom. TPS status is ended for Haitians. I believe it's supposed to be this month.
When have you ever seen the FBI pursuing the KKK all on the news, social media?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just other whites and trailer parks and stuff.
Or any other nation of people.
Well, you got Elon them, that's crazy.
Yep. Goes on to say they prey on widows, take advantage of orphans. And that's all, the widow and the orphan. That's speaking for Israel. But that happens in a literal too. The Lord pray and target the women and children. Oh, and then what the persecution look like when it's played out. It's through a corrupt government being dirty. Dirty cops, crooked officers, fake ass ICE agents. But yeah, I wanted to show that you could be harassed in the physical sense, what ICE is doing, or you could be harassed in a non-physical way through laws and policy. As a matter of fact, the Supreme Court made a decision that ICE can legally target people based on ethnicity, based on their skin color. They can target people based on them speaking Spanish. Why not speaking Chinese or Mandarin? Why not speaking French or German? Why not speaking some so-called Middle Eastern language or speaking Russian?
What separates us from a Haitian, a so-called Haitian and a Judite brother? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As long as we ain't talking, you know what I'm saying, with an accent, or we just standing in the same place, yeah, they gonna round all of us up.
Yep. And that's the thing too. The brother said accent. So the Supreme Court gave a decision. They can also target people on ethnicity, skin color, them speaking Spanish only, or they say speaking English with a Spanish accent. This is what the persecution looks like. It ain't all soft and the only happening to the Jesus believers. No, it's happening to the persecution in the scriptures will happen to a nation of people. That's the first layer of it. The second layer would be those certain people, the 12 tribes, based upon them believing in the Lord. And furthermore, they said, the Supreme Court said they can target people based on how they dress. You're in a cowboy hat, you're in cowboy boots and some jeans, and a belt, you dressing like a Mexican. They said, hey, they can target them based on their employment, where they work at. You're a grocery store worker, you're a restaurant worker, you work construction, you're working in the fields like a Mexican. You can be targeted based on that. And it get worse. They say you can target them based on their whereabouts. You hanging around the taco shop, you hanging at a Mexican flea market.
You in the ghettos.
Yep. That too,
You shopping at the bazaars.
Yep. So when it says the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, that's what the Lord is doing to Trump. Hardening his heart to further pursue, to harass the 12 tribes. So when it says Pharaoh pursued the children of Israel, what we see today in America, when Pharaoh pursued the children of Israel. Finally, he got on his chariot and horses and chased after him with his army. But this is what it looked like first. And then when it's all said and done, modern day Pharaoh, who is Trump, they gonna finally get on their horses and chariots, use their military, and they come down with great wrath, full force. That's what it's gonna come down to. But this is how it began. On what proves it, the account, we had the two Egyptians, they killed the Hebrew. Or no, they was beating on them, and then Moses, when they killed those Egyptians, for beating on his people. That's the harassment, the small scale attacks. That's how it began. Why do you think the Egyptians was beating on the Hebrew? There was probably some Egyptian ICE agent back then. But then Moses like, they got me up. Right. That's how we feel. Oh, and then, speaking of pursuing and harassment, ICE snatched the Mexican lady out of her Durango because she had a Mexican flag painted on it. So when the scriptures speak about oppressing a man in his heritage, you can't even have nothing showcasing your Mexican heritage. Yeah. It might get an ICE agent's attention. And speaking of accent, when you say what separate us from Haitians and Jamaicans, you might know the story better than me. I think it was a cop pulling over an Edomite. And I believe the cop might have been Jamaican. But the Edomite he pulled over was an ICE agent. He was being pulled over by a cop. He bucked up at the cop. He was like,
I ain't seen no one. The Edomite?
Yeah, the Edomite getting pulled over was an ICE agent. He's trying to check the cop, ask him if he's Jamaican.
Oh man, for real?
And these, yeah.
Like, hey, I got the authority now. You're one of the enemies.
Yeah.
Pride of these damn devils.
Yeah, man. Let's jump there real quick, Micah. It might be Micah 2:1 and 2. For this word harass, it's that word pursue takes you to harass. Again, for the record. And shalom to daughter Yahweh. And shalom to my brother Yawanathan. Oh, that's the spirit. We grabbed that too. We gonna grab them again. How about you? I'm trying to rock it down. Yes, 1 and 2.
All right, this is the book of Micah, chapter 2, starting at verse 1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand."
I see, that's what we've been saying. You know, everything that happens in a physical sense, with us being pursued and harassed and persecuted, it happens behind the scene first. That's why I say, woe to them who devise iniquity. Meaning they up late night in these think tanks, coming up with laws and legislation, Supreme Court decision making, to practice it in the daytime. They come up with these plans and new ways to target and to harass the 12 tribes, and then they carry it out.
Verse 2, "And they cover fields and take them by violence."
They cover fields and take them by violence. The oil tankers taken by violence. To take what? Venezuelan oil fields.
"And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his parents."
So they oppress or persecute a man in his house and his heritage. So the oppression, the persecution is based upon a certain people.
So-called Mexican can be 3 generations born over here, but they still Mexican, got the flag like you say, and now they're a target.
And now, they want to denaturalize people who got their citizenship, meaning they're not from here, but these Mexicans, they came here and became citizens. We still trying to find a way to strip away their citizenship. That's why I said, woe to them that devise iniquity. Like, why? You got enough people over here who are not citizens you could go after from these other countries. But you want to come down on the Mexicans. And we're going to get this again before we move on from the brother Yawanathan Bakar. Hey, Brother Black Live say, so nice, gotta say it twice. We'll come back to the book of Lamentations 4, 17 through 19.
Book of Lamentations chapter 4 and this is the book of Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help, and our walk.
It said our eyes fell for vain help. Because what's the vain help? People trying to complain to the congressmen, that they mayors and governors. They crying out on the news, trying to get their story out. That's vain help.
Investigation.
Oh yeah, demanding an investigation. That's vain help.
Right.
You know, talking about call your attorneys, call your lawmakers. That's vain help.
Sign a petition.
That ain't helping nothing. Yep, all that.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
You crying to Esau for help. His system for help. The same system that's targeting and oppressing you, that's who you go to for help.
Right.
It can't save you. It ain't gonna help you.
They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets.
Who's scared to go to work?
Yep.
Who's scared to go pick the crops? Who's scared? Who abandoned all these construction job sites? Who's scared to go work in the restaurants and the grocery stores?
Who take detours when they see a cop on a certain street?
That's it. Who not coming out the house no more? They say they heard our steps in the streets. The Southern Kingdom next. Yep. So-called blacks, you know, Negroes, Jamaicans, Haitians. Y'all gonna be scared to come outside next.
Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. For our end is come.
Our end is come. Yeah, this is Jacob's trouble. What we started off with Ezekiel 75, the end is come. Evil and only evil is come. This is it. This is that persecution, that great time of tribulation known as Jacob's trouble.
Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They persuade. Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 19. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They persuade us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness.
See, yeah, our persecutors, our slave masters, oppressors, ICE, your lawmakers, your government, your law enforcement, those are our persecutors. They had to come back out. But now, we're going to look at this word persecute. Because again, when it said the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart and he pursued the children of Israel, another word for pursuit is to persecute. So now this word pursue, we open it all the way up and linked it to what we see going on today. That was going on back then. Best believe Pharaoh in ancient Egypt was passing laws and making decisions on the spot. So we're gonna get this word persecuted. Little definition I got, it says subject someone to hostility, ill treatment because of their ethnicity. That's what the persecution is about. And that just proved the point. I ain't know that was there. The persecution that you read about in the scriptures, it would be based on a certain people, the Lord's people, based on nationality. The 12 tribes, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. That's why we gave the account when the Supreme Court said ICE can target people based on ethnicity, language spoken, accent, how they dress, where they work, and where they hang out at. see, based on ethnicity.
I got one. Just a new one. It says to persistently harass, oppress, or treat someone cruelly, especially due to their race or religion.
See, the persecution, the great persecution, Jacob's trouble that you read about is based on ethnicity or nationality first. The second layer, as things progress, then it will be based upon your belief, your religion, but it's based upon nationality first. That's why it's called Jacob's trouble. And it said persistent. So at the end, we're not gonna just be persecuted and targeted all of a sudden, like you white Edomite Christians make it seem. Like one day it's all good for the Christians, then one day it ain't.
Right.
No, it said persistently oppressed, meaning it's ongoing.
It never stopped.
Yeah, it ain't never stopped, but it only got worse. Christians make it seem like one day out of the blue, now you can't read the Bible. Right. Now you can't say the name Jesus no more. But it was all good yesterday.
That's just them trying to make it make sense for themselves.
Yeah, you're trying to fit yourself in there. You ain't being persecuted, never have, but you're about to be.
Right.
The Lord put them curses on y'all now. Ooh. Y'all looking bad.
On a level that even we can't imagine.
Oh yeah. But yep, let's see what we got else for this word persecute. And this word persecute, it also says to harass and annoy. The white people ain't being harassed. Neither are you other nations. But see, you might say, boy, be getting on white people.
Why not?
That's clean. But see, you don't see Chinese people scoffing on the comment board. You don't see Japanese people coming up to this campsite causing confusion. You don't see East Indians and Arabs trying to fit themselves in the gospel. You don't see Koreans and Cambodians trying to steal our identity.
Doctrine.
Yeah. Trying to debunk the doctrine. Right. Well, that's why we get on white folks. And then, as the brother said, why not? Ezekiel 35 said, set your face against them to let them know the Lord is against them. Prophesy against Mount Seir.
According to Kevin Hart, he said the world just needs more love.
Yeah. and back in this word persecute, similar words, the brother brought it out. It said oppress, abuse, victimize, mistreat, punish, discriminate against. So the scriptures speak about a great persecution of believers. Another word for persecution is pretty much a great discrimination. The persecution is the same persecution we've been going through, but it's when the devil finally come full force. And this is the build-up that we see happening to it. It's happening on paper first. And then, you know, the scriptures say it's going to get worse. There's going to be more stuff that come out. I believe when they get to the Southern Kingdom, they're going to target us based on how we dress, being color coordinated, because they're going to say it's gang related, dreads, blind weaves.
I think that when it comes to the Southern Kingdom, they just going to round us up by the boatload.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they don't even need a reason now. They just do it.
And that really lined up with the King Alfred plan, also known as Rex 84. They're not going to play the game that they playing with the Northern Kingdom. They scared to come out the house. They being, you know, soft-spoken. Like the brother said, they're going to come full force.
Full throttle.
They're going to.
Hey, they don't need a reason now.
Yeah.
You have a suit tie on, riding down the street reading the Bible, you know what I'm saying, singing church music, you know what I'm saying, all the tags right on your car.
Yeah.
Still get it.
Oh man, I'm gonna throw this out there. When it said they pursued the children of Israel, pursue goes to pursue, to persecute, to harass. That's why we get strikes on our videos. That's why I'm live on this channel right now.
Right.
My main channel got a strike. And all the other brothers that get strikes, videos taken down, they want to censor us. They want to try to mute us. They want to get us off these street corners. That's the Lord hardening Pharaoh's heart to pursue the children of Israel, to pursue or to persecute or to harass. I think after that, what was it, back to
Jeremiah 30 and 6.
Okay, bet. Yeah.
All right, next precept is coming from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
See, that's the persecution, a time known as Jacob's trouble, not Edomite's trouble, not everybody's trouble, but Jacob, the 12 tribes.
Not the world's trouble.
Yeah.
Not mankind's trouble.
And the Northern Kingdom need to wake up. So-called, I work with Venezuelans. They don't know a thing about what's going on.
Right.
They should be upset at Edomites.
You go inside of I went in that McDonald's to get some coffee.
Yeah.
And it's all being ran and worked on by all the employees of Instacart. They act like they got a problem with me.
See, that's why Northern Kingdom need to wake up. And see, I thought what they doing in Venezuela, they will wake up. But no, Trump now talking about they about to do airstrikes on Mexico.
Yep.
Maybe that'll get the Northern Kingdom attention when Trump start doing airstrikes on your country. What's up, brother?
Shit, I don't think it is. I think, because, the scripture says that, you know what I'm saying, they didn't hear y'all was shot, so they ain't gonna listen to us either. Even though we know that it's gonna be brothers and sisters that come in at the, you know, in the last minute. But, you know, for the most part, shit, people just blinded for a reason. Because that's their life, man.
It's good to say they're not gonna be mindful of the scourges.
Like you said, that persecution is bringing a lot of bloodshed.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people getting bloodshed because they didn't return.
Yep. So yeah, Trump attacking all these so-called Latin American, Latino countries, but y'all still don't get the point.
Right. Still don't get the point.
This is Jacob's trouble.
Verse 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord.
This is the reason for Jacob's trouble right here, my bad.
You good.
And then what Pharaoh was doing to the Israelites in ancient Egypt, when it said he pursued and overtook the Israelites, that was the Jacob's trouble back then. But it's happening all over again.
All right, Jeremiah 30 and verse 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst the bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him.
So what it say? The Lord will break his yoke from off of our neck, that we will no more serve these strangers. Pretty much the Lord bringing us out of captivity.
Yep.
And that's what provokes Pharaoh to pursue the children of Israel.
But
because
only,
at one point
the Lord can do that instead of signing some petition or something.
Yeah. I'll go ahead.
No, you got it.
I was gonna say at one point Pharaoh even said, why have we let the children of Israel go? Let's go after them. The Lord hardened his heart because he see the Lord was bringing us out of captivity, so they pursued after the children of Israel. So that's the reason for Jacob's trouble. Like it ain't 30 degrees out here.
He almost broke his neck looking over here.
Oh yeah. So that's the reason for Jacob's trouble. But see, our captivity is ended. They lose a grip on the people. So they want to come down with great wrath to bring us back into captivity.
You want me to grab Exodus 4 and 9 again.
Yeah, we grab it again.
All right, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 14 and verse 9. But the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea beside Philaroth before Bazaphon.
All right, see, again,
Mispronunciation.
Pharaoh pursued the children of Israel, meaning pursued them, persecuted them, harassed them through laws and policies, executive orders, Supreme Court decisions first. After, he went after them with chariots and horsemen and army. That's the final step. That's what this is coming to. For a great slaughter.
Grace. All right, next precept. You got something?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Next precept is coming from the book of Revelation, chapter 13, starting at verse 6.
But see, it said Pharaoh overtook them. We're going to be overtaken too. We're going to be cornered off too. And what it said, so overtook them by the sea. It's going to come to the point we cornered off, nowhere to go, no way out.
Divine intervention going to step in.
As a matter of fact, I didn't get it. Isaiah 59:19, the enemy shall come in like a flood.
Just thinking that.
Yep. I guess this is the perfect time for it.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I guess we'll grab it real quick.
Yeah, that's why I was finna grab.
All right, bet.
Might as well. I ain't rushing this shit. I ain't worried about nobody out here. Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19. What precept was it? 59? Isaiah
9. That ain't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I'm reading too fast.
Okay.
All right, the book of Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun.
We know where this is happening now. He said in the West.
Yep.
That's America.
Try to say that to a Christian, they gonna say, man, the world has changed so much since then, man. You ever heard of Pangea? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai shall lift up a standard against him.
So the Lord gonna harden Pharaoh's heart, which is Trump, in the spiritual Egypt, America, by the pyramid on the back of the dollar. He's gonna harden Pharaoh's heart again to pursue us with his military force. That's why I said the enemy shall come in like a flood. That word shall pretty much means the future. It shall happen.
It'll happen.
Yeah. See? Will come in like a flood. What ICE is doing, those are small steps. That's gradual. That ain't gonna work. Eventually they gonna come full force.
Full throttle with the new weapons and everything.
Yup. And then what it say? The Lord gonna lift up a standard. So, been seeing this week a couple brothers having dreams about the powers, talking about the powers. Ain't them powers coming
Yes, sir.
to the 144,000 for the record, which will be at the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Yeah, you know, most brothers just want to make it up out of here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we supposed to be putting on as the hopeful elect. And if you putting on as the hopeful elect, shit, you would want to be worthy of one of those brothers that get that power as well.
Yep.
You know, don't sell yourself short when it comes to your power.
Yeah. That's right. Don't settle.
Yeah, you can settle for Esau, man. That ain't gonna give me that job. I ain't gonna even apply for it.
Yeah.
That's different. But shit, when it comes to your power, man, go for the gusto.
Now the Lord said this is great pleasure. To give you the kingdom.
Give you the kingdom.
And then, I think the book of Luke said, even the wicked can give good gifts. How much more can your heavenly Father give good gifts?
I think he coming and told his father.
Oh yeah.
Coming to get edified. No.
Oh yeah. But yeah, hey man, Hey, them powers got to be right around the corner.
Gotta be.
And for the record, it's only a remnant of the Israelites that's gonna get that power. A small number. And 144,000 ain't no women involved in that. But you see a bunch of stuff on YouTube talking about light workers, workers of light. Everybody shows it all of a sudden.
Brothers teaching with their wives and shit.
Oh yeah. I had a dream about that too. That's crazy. I ain't know that.
This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 6. And he opened his mouth and blasphemed against Yahweh thy power, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
Let's deal with that, because a Christian to read this and think it's a literal dragon or a monster or Satan that's gonna be cussing out the Most High. F you, Most High.
Right.
No, you blaspheme the Lord by speaking against his people. Let's do Ezekiel 35. I think it's like verse 10. It'll show how you blaspheme the Lord and speak great things against the Most High.
35 and 10.
I think so. Yeah, it's through them pushing wickedness and legalizing LGBTQ and trying to X out the Lord, but it's also speaking against his people through their laws and policies, lying on us, slandering us, falsely accusing us of all this stuff.
Ezekiel chapter 35, starting at verse 12. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Hashem Yahushua, and that I have heard all thy blasphemy which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. 13. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them.
So the Lord said, I heard the blasphemies which is spoken against the children of Israel. And doing that, you boasted and spoken against the Lord himself. So that's Revelation 13 and 6. I forgot what it was worded. They had blasphemed the Most High, speaking against his people. You go back to Revelation 13, again 6 again, take it into 7.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 6. And he opened his mouth and blasphemed against Yahweh thy power, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
Oh, see? And them, that's his people.
Yeah.
More specific, the elect.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over the kindred and tongues and nations.
To make war with the saints. What Pharaoh did when he pursued the children of Israel, he made war with the saints. First through laws and policies and strict measures, but then he went full force with his army. That's why I say he will make war with the saints. That's through policies and laws first. Then he will come full force with his military. Then how Pharaoh overtook the children of Israel, well, he saw the white man, this fourth beast. He's going to overwhelm the saints. I think, what did it say, overwhelm?
It says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
See, you're going to be overcome. He saw the white man in this war against the 12 tribes, meaning what? We're not going to have, we're going to lack the power to deliver ourselves. But see, that's why where the Lord gonna come in at. What was it? Was it Exodus 14 and 13? What's the next one?
13 and the next precept?
Yeah. That's not Exodus 14 and 13. But we got Exodus 14 and 9. It said he pursued the children of Israel and overtook them. We're going to see what happened after that. What happened after Pharaoh pursued and overtook the children of Israel? Something happened after that. The children of Israel was closed off with no way to escape.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 14 and verse 13. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will shew to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see no more again, no more forever.
Moses told Israel to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord.
Right.
He said that the Egyptians you seen today, who pursued you and been persecuting you and harassing you, he said you're gonna see them again no more forever. So as the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart again, as he hardened Trump's heart, he's gonna further pursue, harass, and persecute the 12 tribes, eventually coming down with great wrath, full force with his military. At that point, we just stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua once again. These ICE agents, law enforcement, these white militias, Trump, your lawmakers, your corrupt government, who you see today, we gonna see them again no more forever.
Let me get one for you.
Meaning what? The Lord will destroy them as an empire here on the earth. We're going to see them no more again as our oppressors and persecutors. But we will see them in the kingdom as our slaves.
I got one for you.
I bet.
This is in the NLT. This is Psalms chapter 112. I'm going to get 6 through verse 9. It says, such people will not be overcome by evil. Those who are righteous will be long remembered. They do not fear bad news. They confidently trust in the Lord to care for them. They are confident and fearless and can face their foes triumphantly.
Dang. They say it won't be overcome by evil. The righteous, that's the elect.
Yep.
What it say? Don't fear bad news. We get excited at the bad news.
Right.
Why? Because they're confident in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua.
Confident, fearless.
And fearless. Because see, that's what the devil want to do, is try to put fear in your heart. No, we don't. Esau more scared than we are.
Right. That's why he acting like that.
That's why he
straight fear.
That's why he going in circles, trying this, trying that, instead of getting direct to the point. And that was good. That was Psalms 112 and what?
112, 6 through verse 8.
Man, yeah, that's a perfect way to end it. We gonna get this from the brother Jonathan, Revelation 2 and 9. I know that works in tribulation and poverty. Hey, that's another. Those who will be persecuted at the end will have tribulation and poverty. I know the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. That's more ways of speaking blasphemy here at the end. Who tried to steal our identity? Who tried to say that they were the Jews of the Bible, that they the people of the Lord? You see? But yeah, man, that's it. This is what the persecution looks like. What we see happening to the 12 tribes today, but it's only gonna get worse, much worse. So Lord willing, that was informative and edifying. Let's give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders, the GMS, taught us the truth by the Holy Spirit. Honors to the brothers, risking their life and freedom to push the gospel. Shalom to the elect. Till next time, Lord willing, shalom.
Shalom.